I'd like to formally introduce myself now. My name is Ellie Windchy, and it's my pleasure to talk with you today about ways to help deepen user engagement with Digital Commons. How would I know that engaging more users is important to you? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. I have been with Digital Commons. Well, I manage the consulting services group that supports Digital Commons, all of the Digital Commons around the world. And I've been with Digital Commons for 20 years. And in those 20 years, what I've learned is that those journals and institutional repositories that last the longest, that have the most traffic, are the ones that deeply engage with their users. One of the things I wanted to mention about some of my background that you might find helpful today and over the next day or so, if you have additional questions for me, is that among the things I love to do is I have been here helping to advance open access publishing, repository development, and helping to build communities of practice through events such as the IRA Manager Certification course, which we hold each year. The next one's coming up in April in San Diego. And through events such as this one. And I know many of you attended the workshops yesterday, and I hope to see you at future events, which we'll be supporting for the community. So let me talk a little bit about User Engagement 101. Why does it even matter? Well, engagement is a virtuous cycle. As you can imagine, when you have engaged readers, that leads to more downloads. And more downloads means happy authors. And when those downloads are translating into more citations, of course, what we see is more recognition for the journal or for the institution that sponsor the research that got the citations or the downloads. That might be represented in things such as being indexed in progressively more prestigious journal databases, or it might be moving up in institutional rankings. And of course, that recognition of the journal or the institution leads to more engaged readers and more downloads and more recognition of authors. And so you see the cycle goes on. But why do I focus on readership? Is readership the only way to measure user engagement? There are many ways to be able to measure user engagement. I acknowledge that freely. And yet, readership may be the primary reason that your institution or your journal chose Digital Commons in the first place. You were very concerned and wanted to see an improvement perhaps in search engine rankings. Or perhaps you were looking for a means to be able to more properly track and assess your downloads and impact around the world as you were seeking a more diverse and international readership. And of course, you may have been looking for ways in order to help elevate the recognition of your journal or the institution as a whole. And these are some of the reasons that perhaps your institution or your journal chose Digital Commons in the first place. So I know after lunch, maybe some of us are feeling a little bit ready for a stretch. So I thought we might do a show of hands a few times. I would love to just see how many of you have Digital Commons already? May I see a show of hands for the wonderful? And it's okay. Not everyone has to have Digital Commons already. Some people are just here to learn. I'm here to support learning. You're welcome here. We're glad to have you. And likewise, if you have additional questions about Digital Commons or the consulting services group and how we help support the success of the institutions with DC, please feel free to come talk to me. I'm happy to help. Now, of those who have Digital Commons already, could you put your hand up again for me, please? Thank you. And could you also put a second hand up if you are pretty pleased with the readership you have? I watched Superman on the way here. Now you all look like superheroes to me, ready to blast off. That's wonderful. And I also know that even if you are generally pleased with the readership that you have with your Digital Commons, there may be areas where, you're still trying to find your way. There's still particular groups of readers that you find hard to reach. But first, let's focus on the positive. So for those of you who are already feeling pretty pleased with the readership that you have right now, I would love to hear, what are some of the things that you do in order to help bring that readership to your repository or to your journal in the first place. Can I have a few volunteers to share one or two things that they do? Yes?
I partnered with an international network
Mm-hmm.
to found a journal to begin with, and they are, and the network is involved in promoting each issue, each article.
Excellent. Building partnerships is a very important way that helps spread out the work, which I think is one of those things that, we were all short on time, and finding ways to build partnerships to help lighten the load and increase the efficiency and the impact of the effort we put into this is so key. Are there some more ideas or strategies that you've used so far? Yes.
So we use it for the in the institution. So we don't have any journals as such. So whenever we are archiving the student theses and all, so we ask the students and also the faculties and all to use that link in their subject line, or so the whenever they are
Signature?
communicating, so that the students will be using in their mail body and other things, so that it can go to many more people and people can read about it. So they put it onto their social medias and other things.
Excellent. Yes, we heard. So I thought I heard signature perhaps of an email, but also social media. Very important as well. We'll come back to some more examples of that, I'm sure, in just a moment. Yes.
Oh, I'll share the traditional bookmarks are really good. I put them in the airport, by the way, and that's how they get picked up. Also, we use press releases as a nice way to get out the word. And I've been playing with AI these days to upload a Digital Commons asset and then have it write a press release that I can send out.
Pretty smart. These are all wonderful suggestions, and I hope that people are taking notes, and I hope I'm not too close to the microphone. I hope that everyone's taking notes and finding ideas that they hope that they'll try when they get home. Are there any other ideas or strategies that anyone would like to share? It's okay if there aren't. I'd like to, if there aren't any right now, I'd like to cut over to another, to the follow-up question, which is whether there's a group that you find difficult to engage. You're trying to get them to come read your content, or you maybe haven't even started reaching out to them yet and you don't know where to begin. Does anyone have a group that they're trying to engage but just haven't quite found a way to do it yet? Of course.
Most of our readers are from the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have great metrics across the world from 109 countries. But I would really like the reach to, go more outside of the United States.
And this was speaking on behalf of a journal, am I right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Just to put this in context for the audience. Great, international audience. Building that even outside of the United States. If you're based in the United States, trying to find readers outside of it, or if you're based in another country, the same. Are there others here who have a group that they're trying to connect with, but they haven't quite found a way, or they're looking for inspiration and ideas on how to reach them? Oh, one more over here.
So I am from Morocco, north of Africa. Sorry for my English.
It sounds very good to me.
Thank you. So I have an idea. Why not to share all the journals, list of journals that exist in Digital Commons with us?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So maybe in Morocco, I can share the journals that exist already in Digital Commons with our researchers. We are a huge university, and vice versa with other colleagues.
I think it's a wonderful suggestion. I'd love to share that with our marketing and other teams to help promote something like that. And by extension, of course, you would like to see perhaps your own journal listed there or something like that. Yes, of course. I was going to say, yeah. If you all remember, we still have Pramita here, and she would love to hear these types of suggestions from the audience. Well, these are great examples, and I appreciate it very much. I know it's not always easy to talk about. Sometimes it's easier to talk about our successes than areas where we struggle. And once again, I want to thank our audience members who are willing to share some areas where they'd like to see some more growth in the future. And if you haven't already, please look at your Digital Commons dashboard. Your dashboard is there for you to be able to access anytime, to be able to see the readership that you have around the world, or not yet around the world, but you'd like it to be, and to be able to take insights into what does really well, which content does really well, with which audiences, and where you might like to see more readership in the future. So what I'd like to do is talk about some other ways to be able to help deepen user engagement with your Digital Commons. And I don't expect to be able to go through all of these slides and all of these examples from the client community in the time that we have allowed, but I will be happy to share my slides, and I will be happy to share my brain so that if anyone has questions after this session, come find me. I'd love to talk with you more about ways to help deepen engagement with your Digital Commons, or if you're using another platform, to learn more about your experiences and how I can help as well. So what I heard from you was, a number of things that, a number of ways in which you're trying to help engage with more audience members. It sounded to me that, if you were to look at this in two different categories. So for example, there are means that we could use in order to help engage authors of a journal or authors already within your institutional repository, and sponsors such as library deans or journal associations. We've already, there are some means that I've listed here that we might use in order to help engage them. And there's another segment here, new readers and the general public, people you might not already have their email address, and it might not be obvious, how to reach out to them. So what I'd like to do is, look at a couple of examples from this list. And I'd also like to take a jump over to the section in the lower right-hand corner, which is bonus for the tech savvy, because I know that some of you just have to see what that looks like because you're curious, and I'm here and I want to help support you. So if I heard you, it seems to me like the interest right now could be more in the column of new readers and general public, because we were interested in maybe finding more international readership for our content. So I'll take a look at some of those things and start off by saying that a number of the elements on this page, Digital Commons does for you automatically. So for example, under monthly readership reports. You know that if you upload the author's email address with their record in Digital Commons, and it has downloads, then that author will receive automatically an email each month to let them know about new readership over time, and to remind them to check their Digital Commons dashboard, called their author dashboard in this case, so that they can see which institutions are coming to access their work and feel the satisfaction of that growth over time. So that's done automatically for you as long as you are remembering to add the email addresses. But there are some things that might take a little more, might take a little bit of elbow grease, and we understand that your time is also precious. You can't go and introduce yourself to every single person individually in order to make an impact. So what are some things that you could be doing in order to help engage them? So I'll hop on down to, let me go over to email campaigns, if this will let me. Maybe control click will not work in this scenario. That's okay, I can just skim this way. And you can see I really do have material for every single one of the things I told you I would. All right, so let's take a look at this one, media releases and email campaigns. This is a lovely example, I believe, from Singapore Management University. When they reached the 10 million downloads mark, what they did was they created a press release. And of course, the press release links to their Digital Commons. Very important. Many people forget to do this. It links to their Digital Commons. And it also shares with everyone not only the fact that they reached 10 million downloads, but also gives some insights into the organizations that were coming to access their work, and features certain types of policymakers at the local, national, and global level so that both authors and the public and the institution as a whole are very much aware of the impact and value of sharing their research with the library via Digital Commons, which they use to promote it. Now, this media release which they created, they also shared via email and via social media as well. And you can tell from the metrics that are on the page itself, you know, their little counters, you can tell that there's a lot of readership and so much pride in their success. Now, you don't have to reach 10 million downloads. I want to make sure that people don't feel like I've set an unattainable goal. In fact, if you look in Singapore Management University's archives, you can see that they sent press releases when they were closer to the 100,000 mark and, you know, the 1 million mark and many stages in between. And, you know, for newer journals, for example, you'll be starting with, you know, with smaller sites because you have a smaller readership in the beginning. So do not feel like you have to wait for, you know, 100,000 downloads before you can share a milestone. In fact, milestones can come in many forms. Just the launch of the site. You can also share, you know, when you add, you know, a significant new collection or a new number of issues. If you have some indexing achievements, for example, acceptance into Scopus would be a great thing to be able to share. New calls for papers and issues, even celebrating new editors or guest editors. As we talked yesterday during the workshop about, you know, ways to help promote engagement with your journal or institutional repository. There are many things that may seem very routine and day-to-day to you, but if you frame them right, they become effective vehicles for promoting your institution via your institutional repository and your journal. So please, by all means, use these opportunities. And if you're feeling like you just can't think of something to share, talk to your consultant. I'm sure they can come up with ideas. It's more than one occasion we have where we've told somebody using Digital Commons, hey, did you know that you just reached the 500,000 mark? Or that this is your 10th year of Digital Commons? And they realize that, and then they tell their communications director thinking, I don't know if you're going to be interested in this. And the communications director goes wild and says, I would love to feature this. Let me get some screenshots and interviews. I'll get some quotes. And these are real opportunities, and I don't want for anyone to miss them. Also, newsletters, blogs, LibGuides, these are all other vehicles short of a media release that you can also be using in order to help promote and disseminate the success that you're having. Now, I also wanted to make sure to show you, let's see. Oh, I'm getting the 5-minute mark. That's great. That means that I promise to also show you some of the bonuses for the tech savvy. So in the other examples we've been talking about, we were often trying to bring readers to your Digital Commons to read the content. But we could also flip it. We can push content from Digital Commons to where your readers are going to be. So there are a number of examples already on this slide of where the institutional website, for example, if you have an institutional repository, every department can feature links to its collection of content within Digital Commons. It can also feature an RSS feed so that every time you add a new work of research to the biology department's collection in Digital Commons, it can appear for, for a time on the biology department's homepage. Set it up once, you don't have to touch it again. It's a very effective way to help share back with the biology department the work that they're doing, depositing the content with you, and helping to show that benefit on the biology department's website. I also want to talk about, in the middle, the DC Outbound API. So in this example from the Department of Primary Industries in Australia, what they do is they have a number of staff responsible for very excellent research, which is all featured in their Digital Commons. And if you look at the staff pages, they populate those pages using the Digital Commons Outbound API so that those faculty pages show the most recent research that they produced. Again, set it up once, and it continues to refresh on its own. And in this way, you're helping bring the readership to these external sites, and it benefits the recipient by automatically bringing them new content. And when readers click on the links, well, that leads to new downloads for you, and the virtuous cycle continues. So those are the main items I wanted to make sure to cover today, and I realize that we are right at time. So oh, good, okay. Sarah says I may be able to take 2 questions. I will gratefully accept that, unless it's one very long question, in which case you may have to find me at the break. Are there any questions that anyone would like to ask right now?
Next slide, please.
Oh. I was going to ask whether there's a new method that anybody would like to try after the conference, but I don't know that we'll have time for that right now. I'll tell you at the break, absolutely. So the social media, exactly. This is a very good one. In fact, I'm happy to be able to share this one because, this is an example of where a number of journals have effectively used social media in order to help draw in readers from around the world. To access their work. And definitely use this opportunity. I have examples from LinkedIn, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and of course, there are more options, WeChat and other the options that I'm not as familiar with, but these were some good examples that I wanted to highlight of how journals have helped to promote their work, and of course, institutional repositories do the same.